Um, I just flew in from Cairns. I landed so I've been at the Tropical Innovation Festival this week in Cairns. Really good conference. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Monday was the a session was a whole day on ecosystem enablers. That was really cool. And then Tuesday, Wednesday was sort of like the main session. So there were sessions on, there were specific things for founders and then investors and then some kind of like I guess like specialty sessions like AI and stuff like that. And then the Thursday was about self-employment and micro business, which of course is something I'm really interested in. It's kind of my work. And then Friday was a deep dive into Indigenous innovation. So fantastic conference, highly recommend it. If you get a chance to go to TIFF 2024, tickets are now available. I highly recommend it. But I flew in and landed at 20 past 11. I got an email from Nadine saying, can you start at 11? Because I'm supposed to be doing, I was booked in to do a presentation for the Sunshine Coast Refinery Program, the Mob version, Mob delivery. And I was like, I'm just still on the plane. Eventually got home, started, and then just did my presentation. But there was Nadine asked me a question. So it was basically just a presentation to participants and just asking about the sort of business journey stuff. But one of the questions that Nadine asked me was about, what have you learned? What are the things that you've learned? And there was three things that I think there's more things. The things that have really influenced making the business. Oh, no. I think the question was, what are the things that you've learned? That's what it was. So the first one for me, and it's becoming, I guess, for some reason I'm more aware of it, is about some of your customers will become, and you don't know it at the time, and I don't know if you go into it thinking about it, but some of your customers will actually become kind of lifelong customers or repeat customers, but you don't know it at the time. And so we're a service-based business, and we get projects all the time from people, and then you just do them. Like you deliver to the best you can. Sometimes you mess up, sometimes you don't. But it's been kind of, I should probably do a table, like do a spreadsheet. And I think good businesses do this. How many customers become your repeat customers? And you don't know that they're going to become your repeat customers. So I got a call on Friday afternoon when I was in Cairns saying, from a previous customer who we've now worked for, done 2 projects for, who has moved on, who's taking us to comment in another area and said, hey, and then she in another space with another department, and then she said, she called on Friday and said, hey, can you do this project? I'm like, oh, okay. But it's like, it's really interesting to me. Something I didn't think of, and something I'll probably add to my training, is how many customers become your repeat customers. So that opportunity could have gone out to quote to everybody. I don't know how much it will be. Like, there's probably rules around that. It's probably smaller than the rule where you have to go and get 3 quotes. But it's kind of like, I just we delivered a project for her. She was the project manager. But it never occurred to me that that person would then we'd be now on potentially on our third opportunity with her. And it's just funny. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. And that's happened a few times where you do one project and then before you know it, that next they come back again and again and again. So if I had have known that, what might I have done in order to make sure that I was that person? And maybe that's something that I should be doing. And actually it is something that you should do in business, is be thinking to yourself, if this person could, like, send them a bloody Christmas card, stuff like that, or whatever it is. But yeah, so thinking about how to nurture customers. And I joke with Amanda all the time. It's like, oh my God, I feel like we're just we're just so busy delivering that we don't really have it's like we're so busy cooking dinner, we have no time to clean up the kitchen or make the kitchen nice or whatever it is, whatever an analogy might be. Is like you're just constantly in the grind of doing stuff, which is something that we should do more of. The second thing that I talked about and suggested in my talk this afternoon was about opportunity cost. And I keep, every now and then I get grumpy with myself thinking, if only I knew then what I know now. But I'm pretty sure people would have said it to me and I just didn't listen or didn't hear them. But it's about, like the cost of taking up new things. And I said to the ladies, it was a lot of ladies today, I said, like, if Lisa and I had stuck to our first business idea back from 1994, potentially what we should have been thinking, which we weren't, this is it. So I've never said this before until today, and now I'm saying it for the second time. But if we had stuck to our guns, potentially we could have exited that business 10 years later, or so 94, or 10 or 20 years later, but actually sold it for, if we had have kept producing resources, if we had have just kept working on it, we could have potentially exited that business and sold it to a publisher. But we were so busy in our brains doing, because what we were doing was educational resources, but we had to spend so much time educating the market, because so we created a business where we understood how much teachers didn't know about Aboriginal perspectives. That's what we called it back then, Aboriginal perspectives. We knew how much they didn't know, so we were going to go in and solve their problem. Problem is they didn't know that they had a problem. So now they get it, ish. So if we started the business now, we'd be fine. But we started it in the mid-90s, before there was internet, before there was social media. And so it felt like you were pushing it up a hill. Like it was just like no one was listening to us. We had some gigs, but we never made serious money. Like we barely paid ourselves. We were on about the same amount as we were earning when we were university students. And so, but had we stuck to it, and just if we had managed to keep ourselves focused, I wonder what it could have been. I know that that's not, you shouldn't do the regretting thing. I know we shouldn't do that. But I think if you're in a space where lots of opportunities are coming to you, there's a cost of pursuing that new thing. The cost is that you can't put space over here. So we have an opportunity at the moment to do some new stuff. There's a cost to that. So yeah, I'm interested because of course, I have a short attention span. I'm really interested in it. I want to do it. But if I do it, then I'm going to lose something over here. It means I've got to take my eye off this. Have I set up the systems and structures so that it can keep running without me, or with only minimal effort? Some things can, creative can, business training can't yet. It still needs me. But if I want to go over here and pursue this new thing, I need to actually make sure that, can't go out until everything's clean at home. I don't know. There's an analogy there. I don't know what it is. But yeah, there's no point regretting, Lisa, but there is value in reflecting and going, okay, well, what does this mean going forward? Because we're not finished yet. Like, yes, I like to joke that, mid-50s now, should be winding down or whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But we almost have way more opportunities now that we've reached this point of learning, and we're kind of early stage successful, kind of very early. It's now very tempting to go off on these other things. Maybe we don't. So I'm saying this to myself, be really careful before you go off and do that. Or do it in a way that is not going to, okay, so that's the side gig. So I'm sort of just in that reflection phase based on the conversation. There's a few things over the week that I've been really, that made me think about setting some serious targets, like 5-year goals and stuff like that. and making them quite explicit, not just for myself, but for the team and for, saying, hey, this is where we want to be. But also the conversation this morning, thinking to a group of early business owners. Yeah, the cost of getting distracted, the cost of distraction. But would I have even listened? I don't know. Would I have listened back then? I don't know if I would. Oh, look, 10 minutes. I gotta go. See ya.